On the main agenda today, we will be continuing to work on terrain generation issues in Minecraft and SpacetimeDB. Maybe I can like Excalidraw. So we have this generate chunk function. Basically, we can call this externally from like the CLI. So we could do like the Spacetime CLI here. And we can actually call this. We could call, Spacetime call Minecraft generate chunk, and this would work, dot. So we can call this from here if we want, and this then will actually call this function. And then we have a table in here called the SpacetimeDB chunk table. Okay. And this chunk table, I believe, just has an X, a Y, and a chunk. So this is going to be X, I32, Y, Z, I32, and then the chunk. Okay. When a chunk gets added, we have a callback in the Minecraft server, which is called chunk insert or insert chunk. I don't remember which one it is, but it's not super important. So this insert chunk gets called every time a new chunk is inserted. And basically what it does is it takes this chunk and it inserts it into like a global world table thing. And we can actually check that out quick. So if we just jump to this, it's called on chunk inserted. We print out received chunk with the X and Z coordinates. And then inside of the world, which the zero world is like the overworld right now. There's actually not support for nether generation quite yet. And I've actually had this conundrum of updates are coming to this repository. This is not a repository that I made, this open source Minecraft server repository. There's a question of how am I going to integrate upgrades from the mainstream to come back into this repository that I have not yet determined. I assume that it will be a lot of copy and pasting code, but we'll see. But anyway, so we grab the overworld and we actually set this chunk in the Minecraft server. So this chunk ends up just in the world table. So ideally, what we want to happen here is that instead of like inserting this chunk into this like world struct here, like inside of this chunks, the Minecraft server should not really be handling this logic, and it should be inside of SpacetimeDB. So that's what we're going to work on today. And there's actually quite a lot of details here. So like what things am I talking about? If I had to like list them out, right? So what things really is the world concerned with? So I'm gonna say like features that we're actually gonna like have to port over right now. That's gonna include players breaking blocks. Like when you're mining, hitting a block and then the block breaks, that changes the chunk. So that has to happen in SpacetimeDB, and that chunk change has to be communicated to the Minecraft server and then eventually communicated to the client. What else do we have? We have players placing blocks. Okay, like if you have a block in your hand and you go to put that block on the ground, you now have a new block in the terrain, and we have to obviously communicate that to the server and the clients. But then we have like really weird stuff. Like blocks can update. Like for example, sand and gravel can fall. So sand and gravel are affected by the game tick, basically. So the sand blocks and gravel blocks can fall. I'm pretty sure this version of Minecraft supported like gravel falling as well. Okay, so we have a piece of gravel. And if I just do this, does it fall? It does. Okay, excellent. So we have sand and gravel falls. Sand and gravel can fall. What else do we have? We have like really weird stuff too. Like there's like the chests. So I think these are called chunk entities. Need to be updated. I think the items are not actually like the contents of the chest, I don't believe is actually stored in the chunk table. I think it's actually stored in like a separate data structure. So we'll probably have to port that as well. Okay, so we have furnaces, dispensers, and storage chests I think can hold items. So those things will need to be supported in SpacetimeDB as well. what did we want to do first? So I actually have in my list of things to do just for simplicity to migrate the project into a single GitHub repository. Maybe I'll do that first if that's okay. That'll be something quick that I can do. Okay, so we just have to change the name of this quick. Creates module source lib. MC173. Is this going to be like underscore server? I think it becomes underscore server. Or sorry, module, not server, module. Excellent. Okay, so that's working now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent. Okay, so after this stream, I will push this to GitHub so that people can start playing around with it, because I know several people have asked me if it's going to be available. This will be available. I am going to push it to GitHub. I probably will have to write a README, but it should be available. I'll post it in Discord. So we finished that. Okay, excellent. Get this started, but we'll make an attempt here. So I think we'll start with probably writing a function, pub function, set block. And what do we need for this? I'm actually going to jump into world.rs inside of here. Okay. So block set, handle block set. So we basically are going to copy this. So we tell the chunk tracker that this block is going to get set. We calculate the chunk position of this block, and then we grab the tracker, and then we tell the tracker to set the block, and then there's like details here. I like learned how all this works. Basically, if you have a block and more than 10 if you have a chunk and you have more than 10 updates in that chunk, it, instead of sending the individual updates, it's going to send the entire chunk. So like if you're like in a cave and there's like a bunch of gravel on the ceiling, and you go and you like mine one of the gravels and then they all fall. I'm sure people who have played Minecraft have like seen that. If you have a chunk and you have a bunch of updates where all of them are like falling at the same time, instead of sending each individual block in that chunk that's updating, it's going to actually just resend the entire, resend the entire chunk. I think when we're waiting, let's see. So we have run order load tick padded. So we need to be able to call this tick padded, but this tick padded thing actually does this sleep thing here. So I think what I actually want to do is move this out. Let's try this. I bet this fixes the issue. And actually we have to do a scope here, I think. So when is the lock actually given up? That's going to be, let's see, so we don't need to move this here. We only need the lock until here. Then we say how much time has elapsed, and then we're gonna wait without the lock. So we give up the lock and then we wait. Let's try that. I bet you it's really, really fast. Oh, look at that. It's really, really fast. Okay. Let's see. Let's see how fast it is now. Now that we've fixed that problem. Wow, look at that. It's like instant. Okay, that's how it should have been. Interesting that the performance profile of that changed between yesterday, or between today and a couple days ago when we originally tested this. So now it's like really, really fast. Okay, let me on the server change how far you can see things. Back it out. Yeah, I think the view distance right now is actually infinite. It's actually infinite. So actually, let me write a new function. So I'm gonna do one quick thing here, mainly just to, I guess, test. Is we'll generate like from an X, so like from Okay, but we have this up over here. If I call generate chunks now, so this is generate chunks with an S. I'm gonna go from 0, 0 to like 10, 10. The reason I chose that is because break block function. This should be like pretty easy. Like we should be able to add this to SpacetimeDB. So then instead of calling this function, we would just call like a SpacetimeDB reducer. I might just do that for now. What's the best way to do this? I guess I could still take an IVEC3, although I kind of maybe don't want to. And I just want to take like pause X, I32, pause Y, I32, pause Z, I32, like this. So pause X, I32, pause Y, I32, and then pause Z, I32. And then we're actually going to do let pause is equal to a new IVEC3. I don't actually know how to construct a new one of these. Hopefully it's simple like this. Mismatched types. So expected option found. Yes. Okay. Get rid of that. Okay. Could not compile. Warning. Okay. Use of undeclared type IVEC3. Okay. Excellent. So now we actually have a suggestion on how to fix this compilation issue. So I think it found the crate. The question is, does the crate work in WASM? Is going to be a different question, but we will find that out in just another second. Okay, this should be existing. Okay, so get chunk mutable. This is no longer get chunk mutable. We're just going to do the chunk table. We're going to do filter. Sorry, SpacetimeDB chunk. We're going to do filter by chunk ID. I think that's it. Okay, so we have SpacetimeDB filter by X, then find where the Z's are equal. Okay, so we should have a single chunk. We do have a single chunk. Okay, so then the next thing I want to do is I want to try setting a block. So if you pull open the debug here, we can see, sorry, I want to set a block. Okay, what block should we set? So we have like 482, 6. So theoretically, I can call set block 482, 6, and then ID. I don't really know. We can quickly look at block.rs to find. We have set the block in the chunk, but we have not actually updated it. So we're gonna have to do. We'll have to do chunk. So SpacetimeDB chunk update by chunk ID. We're going to do at chunk. Okay, and then we're just going to pass the chunk. This is a common problem. So I'm going to do let chunk ID is equal to chunk.chunk ID. And then we'll use this instead. So at chunk ID. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now we've deployed the new module. It has no data in it, so we have to generate a chunk. Generate the 0 chunk. After we generate the 0 chunk, we want to set a block. Okay, so I'm going to add this cactus, which is totally arbitrary. I could have made it any block, but I just chose that block. Cool. All right, there it is. It's floating in the air, but it is there. So that did actually work. Don't want to say easy, but it's doable. We can just quickly jump to here. We're going to add a callback for onChunk updated. I'll be honest, I think this will work. I think this will work because I did not realize how this was set up. I think this is actually, I have totally by chance, I think, actually stumbled on a good update here. Yes, there we go. It'll work. On update. Maybe on update did not get called. Let's do a printout when on update gets called. So print line on update called. Let's not pick something weird. Okay, let's pick like a gold block. Let's do like a gold block instead, 41. Okay, so we're gonna change this from 81 to 41. I think I know why this is, but let me disconnect and reconnect. I think we'll see it, right? Yes, then we see it. Okay, so I think it's just on whatever. So it's gonna be like on set block. I think on set block, and then what is the signature of this function? So if I jump to like onset name, what does that look like? Okay, let me make a function just so this is easier. So pub function notify. I'm just gonna call this notify block, and this will just take mutable self, and then pause x, pause ivec3. So maybe put one like below it and see, did that work? Okay, excellent, very cool. So now we can set arbitrary blocks in the game and they will show up. So here I've got 2 gold blocks. Let's go ahead and we'll put at 86, we'll go back and we'll put like a cactus on top. Sand is 12. Okay, so if we do 12 instead. 85, 84. So I think we want to put this at 85. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so now we have a piece of sand, and I will finally have my cactus. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Very, very cool. Very cool. Let's go ahead and like add like a couple more, I guess. Make it a true cactus, right? Oh, no, wait. No. Did the wrong thing. We have to modify this. 87. 88. That's why it turned into clay. I was modifying not the right thing. Okay, cool. So we spawned a cactus here floating in the sky. Okay, we've still got our cactus, everything is good. Now what I can do is, let me make sure I'm pointed in the right direction so that we get kind of the thing that I'm looking for here. Okay, so we're pointed in that direction. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna say generate chunks. And I wanna generate from 0, 0 to 10, 10. Okay, so I'm gonna try to switch over as quickly as I can. So I'm gonna hit enter. Okay, go over here, boom. That is how fast the train generation is in SpacetimeDB. It's very fast. It's very fast. The slowness was not because of SpacetimeDB, I promise. There was a client-side bug that was preventing it from generating like really fast. But that is how fast it is. It's really fast. I'm gonna maybe just like do this. And I just realized something. This pillar may disappear. The pillar may actually disappear. And there's a reason for it. Yes, it's going to start to disappear. The reason is because I have not added this placing block function does not exist in SpacetimeDB. So guess what? If this chunk ends up getting sent to SpacetimeDB, this data is not in SpacetimeDB. So it is likely going to go away. And I have fallen. Okay, but I'll stand right here just so you guys can see. We'll do an even bigger one. So I'll do 10, 10 to 100, 100. Just so you can see actually how fast that is. Let's see if that'll actually even work. Is it going? This was supposed to be very fast, although I haven't tested it myself, so maybe it's not as fast as I think it's going to be. Okay. All right, it's not as blazing fast as I was expecting this to be, but this is quite a lot of terrain. This is more or less, oh my gosh, wait, that's like, yeah, that's a lot of chunks. That's like 10,000 chunks, right? But this should load in. I'm not gonna be able to see all of it. And actually it's gonna take a while for this to show up on the client because it's got to download all of that now. Yeah, there we go. Dude, that is a lot of squids. But you can see it's very far. We need the animals numbered. Okay. There we go. That's the chaos that I think will probably end the stream on here. We're going to continue this on Friday. We stream every Wednesday and Friday. Also, all the tools and everything I'm using here are open source. SpacetimeDB is open source, and actually this Minecraft repository is also open source. I'm going to put it in the README for the repository, and I'll actually, after the stream, what I'm going to do is I'm going to post the current code that I have right now. I'm going to upload it to GitHub so that people can play around with it, because people have been asking to just like play around with the world generation and stuff like that.